Hi, good day. Welcome back to our class in Chemistry 102B. Today, I will be having a pre-lab lecture for the activity on the analysis of group 5 cations. These cations include the sodium, potassium, and the ammonium ions. In the analysis of these cations, we are going to use two processes. One is by the flame test, and the second one is by the precipitation test. So let's take first the flame test. Because it is a flame test, we're going to use or analyze the presence of sodium, potassium, and ammonium using the flame. So what are you going to do in here is to observe the color imparted by the flame as I ignite each compound containing the sodium, the potassium, and the ammonium. Kindly observe keenly and carefully, and please follow what I'm going to do by just making an observation. Before you are going to make the analysis by flame test, we are going to clean the Nichrome wire, because the Nichrome wire is the apparatus to be used in imparting the color of the flame. This is the Nichrome wire. If you're going to look at it, there is a loop at the end. The purpose of the loop here is where we are going to place the thin film of the substance to be analyzed. Before this Nichrome wire is to be used, it has to be cleaned thoroughly. How? By dipping this into the hydrochloric acid solution and ignite it over the Bunsen flame. In cleaning the Nichrome wire, you are going to dip the loop part of the Nichrome wire into the hydrochloric acid solution and bring it over the Bunsen flame. You have to make sure that there is no other color imparted by the loop or by the Nichrome wire. Okay, repeat. So you have to do it repeatedly to ensure that the Nichrome wire is clean. Okay, as you notice, there is no color imparted by the Nichrome wire onto the flame. So we can say that this Nichrome wire is now ready to be used. The first cation that we're going to analyze is the sodium ion. This is in the form of sodium carbonate. We're going to dissolve this sodium carbonate in 1 ml of water, and also we have to add it with 1 ml of 6 normal hydrochloric acid. So let's take a pinch of the sodium carbonate, and then let's add it with 1 ml of water. So let's add the sodium carbonate with distilled water, 1 ml of distilled water, okay, and 1 ml of the hydrochloric acid. So this is the mixture of the sodium carbonate, the water, and hydrochloric acid. So from this mixture, this is already presumed to have the sodium ion. So we're going to test the process of sodium using the flame test. So kindly observe. color have you observed? I want you to observe the color imparted by the sodium ion. What have you observed to the color of the flame? Because this nichrome wire has been contaminated by the sodium ion, so we have to clean this nichrome wire by dipping this to the hydrochloric acid solution and bring it to the Bunsen flame, like this. Okay, you have to do it repeatedly so that to ensure that the nichrome wire is free from the sodium ion. The next ion to be analyzed is the potassium ion. This is to be taken from the compound potassium carbonate. So let us use a pinch of this potassium carbonate, place it into the vial, then add it again with 1 ml of water and 1 ml of hydrochloric acid. Okay. And let's add 1 ml of water to this. And add 1 ml of the hydrochloric acid solution. So this is the mixture of the potassium carbonate, the water, and the hydrochloric acid. To this mixture, we're going to test the presence of potassium. I want you to observe what is the color of the flame imparted by the nichrome wire when we are going to place it onto the Bunsen flame. Repeat, observe. Is the color different from that of sodium? To see clearly the color of the flame imparted by the potassium, it is better to use the cobalt glass. Okay, so observe with the use of the cobalt glass. So we're going to place this in front of the camera. Then we're going to mix the solution of the sodium carbonate and the potassium carbonate. And we are going to observe the flame imparted by these two when they're placed together. And again, we're going to clean the nichrome wire before we're going to use this for flame test, because this has been contaminated by the potassium ion. Dip it again to the hydrochloric acid solution, then bring it to the flame. Okay, there's still the potassium. Okay, a little. There is still the color imparted by the potassium. Let's clean it again. Okay, no more. Okay, so there is still a little. Okay, I think no more. So this time, we're going to dip this nichrome wire into the mixture of the sodium carbonate and the potassium carbonate. And I want you to observe the color imparted by the flame. Again. And I want you to use the cobalt glass. Let's place this in front of the camera. Try to observe which color is clear when viewed using the cobalt glass. For the third ion to be analyzed, it is the ammonium ion. So we're going to use here the ammonium carbonate. Again, we're going to dissolve it in 1 ml of water and add it with 1 ml of hydrochloric acid. This is the ammonium carbonate. Let's get a pinch of this. Place into the vial. Put a little more. Then to this, we're going to add 1 ml of water. Then, to this mixture, we're going to add hydrochloric acid. Now, again, we're going to clean the nichrome wire for the next ion to be analyzed, which is ammonium. So, dip it again to the hydrochloric acid, then bring it to the flame. So, it seems there is still the presence of potassium. A little bit. Okay. Okay, I think no more. So, we will dip this nichrome wire into the ammonium carbonate solution. Please try to observe the color imparted by the flame. Red. So those are the tests applied for analyzing the presence of sodium, potassium, and ammonium ions with the use of a flame test. So for the next procedure, let us analyze these ions using the precipitation test. So we're going to test the presence of these ions, sodium, potassium, and ammonium in their chloride form by precipitation test. So we're going to fill these 3 vials with the 3 reagents here containing the ions. So this is the sodium chloride solution. Let us use 1 ml of this. Okay. This is for sodium. This is the potassium chloride. Let's use 1 ml of this. So potassium. Then let's get 1 ml of the ammonium chloride. Again, let's get 1 ml of the ammonium chloride. Okay, ammonium. Sodium chloride, potassium chloride, ammonium chloride. To each of these solutions, we are going to add the sodium cobaltinitrate. 5 drops. Observe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the sodium chloride added with the sodium cobaltinitrate. Observe. This is the potassium chloride added with sodium cobaltinitrate. This is the ammonium chloride added with the sodium cobaltinitrate. I want you to observe and compare the 3. Kindly observe it keenly. Then, we're going to make a precipitation test with the same ions, but this time we're going to add the potassium pyroantimonate. So the same solution of the sodium chloride. The potassium chloride. And the ammonium chloride. Then we will add 5 drops of the potassium pyroantimonate to these solutions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the sodium chloride added with the potassium pyroantimonate. This is the potassium chloride added with the potassium pyroantimonate. And this is the ammonium chloride added with the potassium pyroantimonate. Kindly compare keenly the three test tubes or vials. Then for the next procedure, we're going to analyze again by precipitation test these three ions, but this time we're going to add the picric acid solution. So again, 1 ml of the sodium chloride. Okay. 1 ml of the potassium chloride. And 1 ml of the ammonium chloride. To these three test tubes, we are going to add the picric acid. So let's add 5 drops of the picric acid to each tube. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want you to observe what happens. The first tube is the sodium chloride. The second tube is the potassium chloride. And the third tube is the ammonium chloride added with picric acid. Okay, I want you to observe. The next procedure is to test the presence of the ammonium ions. So in here, we're going to put 3 ml of the ammonium chloride into the evaporating dish. One, two, three. And let's add it with 1 ml of sodium hydroxide. We're going to heat this over the flame. And let's put a red litmus paper. So let's wet this red litmus paper and let it stick at the bottom part of the watch glass, and place this, exposing that litmus paper onto the vapor of ammonium chloride. Let's check it later. So this is how to test for the presence of ammonium ions. Observe what happens. So we have done the activity on the qualitative analysis of the group 5 cations. What we did was analyzing it using the flame test and the precipitation test and volatilization. So we volatilize the ammonium chloride. So those are all for today. This is your teacher, Professor Ruiz of Holy Name University.